Coming up on ECG, Batman vs. Superman's new trailer is out.
Kevin Bacon is going to be on Tremors again.
Tom Cruise sets his sights on the Mummy series, and that's not good.
And Konami is being Konami again. Poor Kojima.
All this and more coming up on the East Coast Geek podcast. Welcome to episode 46 of the East Coast Geek podcast for a couple of days late, Sunday, December 6th, 2015, where we bring you all the latest news on comics, movies, and gaming. I'm your host, Jeremy, and with me, as always, is Opu. How you doing, bud?
Hey, yeah. My work schedule beats me up sometimes, so I couldn't. I'm sorry, everybody, that we're a little late, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good now. Now I'm back to where I can play some more games. I've been playing Plague Inc. Evolved, for one. I got that on Steam for cheap. Did you, I think I got it for cheap. Have you?
I've never played that before. I would assume it's kind of like, what's it called, in Pandemic?
Well,
like the Flash game version.
Yes, it's actually like a spiritual successor to that in a way. And it's really hard. I've only beaten one of the campaigns so far, so I have unlocked nothing.
Oh, great.
I've been trying to, and I got so close yesterday. I had everybody infected, and I was trying to put in my symptoms to start killing people, and they cured me, and I could not adapt and change.
Sounds like you took too long to evolve or something, huh?
Well, there's you can either be really fast and aggressive with killing people, but then you run the risk of burning your illness out,
right,
and just killing yourself off, or that gets the world's attention and they start trying to cure you faster.
Oh yeah, I get. Yeah, it's the same way the pandemic was.
Yeah. So that's that's one of the games I've been playing. Of course, Metal Gear Solid 5. I finally got to play that because you sent me my Christmas gift of it.
Yeah, and then you traded me the PC version, and man, it looks good.
Oh no! I mean, shoot, the console version looks good, so I can't imagine what the PC one looks like. But man, I'm having fun with that game.
Yeah, you had D-Dog kill anybody yet?
Yes, I've had D-Dog kill everybody. I've had the horse poop on me. I'm enjoying Quiet now. I finally got to where Quiet's there, and she's almost a game breaker for me so far, especially doing side quests where I really don't have to worry about not killing people, because that's what I enjoy doing in the game.
Right. Yeah, she's interesting. I think I may have taken her out once. I can't remember, but yeah, D-Dog's great, and I guess you're checking all the boxes with having the D-Horse poop on you. So
yeah, I've got all of the friendship or whatever level maxed out with D-Horse, and he's great for speed runs and trying to catch up to convoys or whatever.
Right.
And D-Dog has saved me because I'm so bad at scouting areas, but since he points out all the enemies, he's just perfect.
Did you do the mission yet where you had to chase down those tanks and blow them up?
Oh my goodness, it took me 2 hours to do it because
that was rough.
Yeah, I ended up having to call in.
No, you called in a strike?
No, I called in a missile launcher that I had built.
Oh, okay.
Because I was trying to sneak up and put C4 on them, but I didn't have enough C4 on me to blow them all up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you just call in more drops. You can do supply drops, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I defeated Quiet.
Oh, okay.
I did a supply drop on her head.
Cheat.
Hey.
I hear in the harder modes you can't do it, so we'll see what you're really made of then.
Oh, harder modes. Let me get through normal first.
Right. All right, well, this kind of would have belonged in the comics section, but let me pop up the picture here. Samurai Jack is going to be coming back on Adult Swim, right?
Yeah, they're getting another season on Adult Swim. It's one of Cartoon Network's most popular shows. I think it only had 2 seasons. I wasn't that big of a fan of it initially, although I did like that they did not have thick outlines, like black outlines for the characters. Yes, right there. They used like flesh color or like if their hair was red, they had a red outline for them. So that was really neat artistically.
I paid $2.55 for each of those at Goodwill.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But so while I didn't like the show overall, I loved the Scotsman. You remember the Scotsman from
Yeah.
the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved Aku, the main villain,
Yeah.
who was voiced by the legendary Mako.
Yeah, which I
Who,
forgot to grab a picture of, but yeah.
yeah, well, he played Uncle Iroh, and
Right.
he played Splinter in the before the Michael Bay Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles movie.
the original theatrical Turtles.
Well, not the original theatrical Turtles, the all CGI one.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
In fact, that was the last thing he did before he passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the good version of the Turtle movies.
Well, that one was okay. I mean, the plot was basic, but the finally having the Leo Raph rivalry come to a head, that was really the focal point. And I think they should have made that the main storyline as opposed to that other. But I could break down that movie for us, but that'd take too long. We got too much
Right.
stuff going on.
All right. Yeah, that what, next year, right? 2016.
Yeah, they've even got the original creator back, who also worked on Powerpuff Girls. I think his wife worked on My Little Pony.
Oh, okay.
And fun fact, I believe he also helped do the last action sequence in Iron Man 2. He storyboarded it.
Oh, really?
When Iron Man's flying through and the drones are after him,
Yeah.
he helped storyboard all that, and he storyboarded the fight between War Machine, Iron Man, and the drones.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So
Oh,
he
that's
does
good.
really good action sequences. It's just Samurai Jack had to be heavily censored because it was a kids show, so they were always cutting up robots, not actual people. I'm hoping on Adult Swim they can do a little more mature stuff because I'd like to see what he could do
Have you
with a little
seen-
more freedom.
Have you seen the Boondocks before? I think they may have a little more leverage this time.
I think so. I'm just hoping that he, takes advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, his original Powerpuff Girl episodes were extremely violent.
Yes, they were.
And the initial title for them was the Whoop Ass Girls, not Powerpuff.
Right. All right, and unless you got anything else, the next thing we had, unfortunately, Robert Loggia passed away at 85 years old this week. He starred in great films such as Scarface, Independence, and one of my favorites, also starring Tom Hanks, Big, where he gets transformed into an adult body from a little kid because of the wish he makes at the wishing machine on the what do you call that? The Midway.
Yeah, the fair pier thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've
Well,
never
that's
seen
what
one of
it
those
is, yeah.
when I first I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
from a backwoods
Florida.
country boy home in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, he was a great actor. He starred in all those great movies. I saw like the older pictures of him, so I didn't recognize him. So I was like, who was he in Independence Day? And I had to Google it. I was like, oh yeah, he was that character, the
Yeah.
general guy, like you
Yep.
said. And he was great. I mean, he's a great actor. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is, but long and storied career. I forgot to write down the number of movies he's been in, but it's up there.
Yeah, it's sad that some of these great actors are passing away on us.
He has 229 acting credits to
That's
include some
a-
movie or some TV show stuff too. So, but I mean, he's actually has three movies that are not released yet. One's a TV movie, and two of them will be released next year.
Oh wow!
So, yeah.
Do you have the titles for them or no?
The TV movie is La Trattoria sitcom, and the next year's releases are Hospital Arrest and 12 Angry Men and Women, which I'd assume is like a spin on the 12 Angry Men.
Or a sequel of it?
Well, probably not a sequel, but
Or a parody? I didn't never
Nope,
watch
never
12
mind.
Angry Men.
3 pregnant women are kidnapped from an abortion clinic. Great. It is a jury thing. So yeah, I guess so.
Ooh, score 1 for Opu.
Right.
All right. That'll be my 1 for today.
All right. Well, rest in peace, Robert Loggia. We will miss you. All right. Go ahead and take the first one because.
All right, so I think this story's a couple of weeks old. We're still playing a little bit of catch up, but Wonder Woman there's been Wonder Woman shots from her movie, and it seems like it's confirming that there will be a World War One setting for her.
Which kind of makes sense, right? I mean, she's. I mean, you're looking at what is that considered? The Silver Age, or is it Golden Age?
That would be the golden age of actually World War One. I think.
Well, that's the 20s, so or before the 20s.
It was like the 1914, right? For one.
Oh my God, history.
I know. Anyways, it might kind of predate the golden age a little bit. I think Superman came out in. Well, no, he might have come in 1910. So, either way, but it makes sense for Wonder Woman because she is supposed to be kind of an ageless being in a way.
Right.
In fact, in the New 52, she's currently the god of war.
Right.
So being at least ageless, if not completely immortal, would make sense for her. And it's. I mean, I don't know. Of course, it's obviously going to get compared to Captain America in a way. So I'm trying to avoid doing that yet, but I'm sure we'll hit a lot of the same tones in a way, or it'll be interesting to see a figure like her, a mythical being, adapt to that time as modern times as opposed to, them being set in nowadays. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you. I just don't know if I'm sold on Gal Gadot.
She looks good in those pictures. I just don't. She just doesn't have the imposing figure, like the strong beauty type of. I mean, she's beautiful, right? And I'm sure she's a great actress. I don't know what she's been in,
she was in a couple of the Fast and Furious movies.
I didn't watch any of those.
No.
But the thing is, Wonder Woman is usually as tall as Superman, who's between 6'1" and 6'2".
Right.
So she's normally at least 6 feet tall.
She's described as Amazonian.
Yes. I mean, she is an Amazon, so, big, powerful arms and legs and stuff. But being a magical being, obviously she could be petite and as strong as they want her to be. So, I don't know. We'll just have to see on that one. I'm actually kind of more excited for that one now that I've heard that it's going to be in World War One, World War II setting, as opposed to the Batman versus Superman, especially with the new trailer.
Right. Hey, great segue into that. Or you got anything else for Wonder Woman?
No. That was actually going to be my clever segue.
They had a couple of pictures in the article that I pulled up, and one of them had Chris Pine all dressed up, and they were definitely like that era type clothing and uniforms. So
yeah, I guess he's going to be playing Steve Taylor.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Steve Taylor, her love interest of the era.
Right. Yeah, that's what I heard.
So.
All right.
Oh, I do hope. I'm sorry. Now that you got me thinking, but I do hope they do a similar scene that we saw in Captain America 2, where Steve went and visited Peggy when she was old.
There's a lot,
which was like a heartwarming but sad scene.
There's a lot of talk about that's going to mimic that probably, more than likely.
Because I mean, that's something she's going to have to deal with, and if they decide to go the relationship route with Superman, Wonder Woman, or build up towards that in the movies, because in the comics, Superman ends up becoming more or less immortal.
Right.
So he's one of the few beings that could relate to Wonder Woman.
It's that damn son of ours. All right. So the next thing we got is the Batman versus Superman trailer, revealing Zod's Day.
Yeah, it's Zod. They said earlier, oh no. If we have Doomsday, it's totally not going to be a Zod clone or a resurrected Zod. We would never do that. And then they come out and do it.
Yeah.
Which, according to the leaked script, this is... Oh, well, first of all, he looks like a cross of the Abomination from the Incredible Hulk and Michael Bay's Ninja Turtles, for one thing. He does not look good. People are heavily criticizing it, but then other people are trying to defend it, be like, this is Form 1, because the leaked script had Doomsday evolving throughout the battle, getting to his spikes and stuff. That's not technically how his powers work. He has to be damaged in a way, yes, and then he doesn't evolve it like, oh, I need spikes to hit harder. No, his hand gets damaged, then he would evolve the spikes. And usually his evolution is tied in with him dying. He has to be like lethally injured, like lobotomized, like in the Justice League cartoon, or he has
Right.
to die for him to evolve. So, but the thing is, who knows? In the movie, they could, Superman could punch his head off the first time, and then he comes back, and then he's got spikes, or Batman shoots him, or whatever. So we don't really know. They could tie into that. Uh, they've shown him using heat vision or a heat face,
Right.
which Doomsday doesn't do. There has been a time where he did have flamethrower breath. We're going to get to a lot of Doomsday right now, but I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think they should try. They should try to keep Doomsday as loyal to Doomsday because he's powerful enough already. In the comic, the Death of Superman comic that he first appeared in, he went basically coast to coast and wrecked everybody that came across him. You know, the entire Justice League went up against him, and he took out most of them with his arm literally tied behind his back because he was still in the binding costume.
Right.
And it was getting destroyed as he went through the fight. They, I don't, of course, this is all speculation based off the trailer, but I do not think they should have used somebody as powerful as Doomsday to begin with. That would be like them using Thanos, for the first Avengers movie. You got to work your way up to that level, and people are like, well, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman defeated a bunch of Doomsday days in several storylines. Well, one, they had the army of the Amazons backing them up.
Yeah.
Two, those were weakened clones made by Darkseid, so they were nowhere near as powerful. In fact, Superman was able to do basically like a wide beam of his heat vision and flash fire all of them.
Yeah.
Something that he would never be able to do with the true Doomsday. But I could go into Doomsday's origin where he's actually thousands of years old. He's a clone that was constantly murdered and revived and stuff like that. And so he's technically Kryptonian in a way because he was an infant dropped on prehistoric Krypton.
Right.
Because they were a very brutal planet. That would take me forever. But here's the thing, is that it might not be Doomsday. There's two other potential characters that he could be. He could be Wraith, which I forgot to look up as a villain, but he looks like a mixture between Superman and Doomsday in a way. But he uses heat vision, and his heat vision kind of crackles the same way that we saw in the trailer. Or it could be Bizarro in a way,
Oh, great.
and it could be as Bizarro that just hasn't fully developed like the flight and everything yet.
I got the picture up of Bizarro right now.
Yes. There's a couple of versions of Bizarro. Bizarro comes from a world called Bizarro World, which is a cube, and there's a Bizarro version of everybody. And his powers are, in a way, reversed of Superman's, where he has ice vision and flamethrower breath, things like that. There's also, from the cartoon, there was a clone of Superman that became Bizarro. It degraded and it became Bizarro, but he was... But Bizarro's treated more like he tries to do the right thing, but his perception of right isn't right from ours, so he causes more harm than good.
Right.
But he never really, nowadays, he never really does it out of maliciousness. So Superman kind of just has to talk him down. Sometimes he gets his butt kicked a little bit by him. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? I'm sorry, I'm going on.
Yeah, no, I don't really know. You're out of my depth on this, so.
Yeah, like the other day when I was like yelling at you about this, and you were sitting there. I have no clue what he's talking about.
Yeah, the Wraith character looks neat.
Yeah, he does look neat. So I'm actually hoping that they're leaning towards one of those two.
Yeah.
And maybe they use those as a jumping off point for an actual Doomsday.
Right.
Which, so I don't know. We'll have to see on that one. Because, I really would like to see a Doomsday go against the entire Justice League like he did in the comics. Because that was just awesome,
Yeah.
Also, I want to talk about the Vision thing. Okay, we don't know if it's Vision, but the desert scenes that we have of Gorilla Batman and Evil Superman.
So my question is how long is this movie? Could this either, if you think this is exactly what you're about to say, or is it maybe we're gonna get a taste of what's it called? Greg always talks about it. The what was it? The Red Sun, or not Red Sun?
Red Sun.
Is it Red Sun? The Russian super.
Yeah, Red Sun was the story that was basically a what if story if Superman or Kal-El as an infant landed in Russia as opposed to Kansas, and he grew up immensely powerful and took over the entire world, and he turned it into a utopia in a way where they would build cars without seatbelts in them because he was so fast that if a car wreck happened, he would be able to be there and grab the people and pull them out before they got hurt. I mean, it could be a version of that we're seeing, and people are starting to think that that's not a vision. That's not like a paranoid dream Batman's having. It's a vision Wonder Woman's been given by Zeus because, according to some leaked script notes, that's what's happening. That's what gets Wonder Woman to fight. Hey, if you don't go and intervene, Superman's going to take over the world, and he's going to kill everybody because there's nobody that can stop him. And this is the pivotal moment where, he says, "Screw it, I'm going to just take over the world."
Yeah.
Given the speeches we've seen his mom give, you could be the savior or you don't have to be any of it. You don't own anything. Yeah. I mean, a certain people with that, hearing that from their own mother, with his level of power, be like, I don't owe them anything. They owe me everything. I save the world and then take it over. Yeah.
Well, look at my hat. I've chosen sides because, listen, Batman looks badass in a duster. I don't know what it is. And that little teaser where Superman drops into this what looks like a dungeon being guarded by like 4 stormtroopers, and then rips his mask off. Man, that was incredible.
That was kind of cool, but then I'm sitting there like, dude, you have X-ray vision, and it was the rubber mask. It wasn't even like the lead line helmet.
That's not the
point. I
know
it's not the point.
The point
but
is that he can do that.
Yeah.
Of course he knows, but he pulls his mask off, and everybody knows.
Yeah.
And
he's no longer Batman. He's no longer the icon. Like
I thought the very beginning of that trailer was really neat too, when they had the little bit of back and forth between Batman and
the
Superman.
verbal sparring was so awesome. That was the
Clark
best
Kent
scene.
And Bruce Wayne. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting, and they got heated, and then they brought in that clown.
Yeah, that absolutely ruined the moment for me because it was such a great moment. That was the best line, the best dialogue I've heard in any of these trailers so far, especially compared to if I wanted you dead, I would have done it already. Or whatever. That's so cliche. And is she with you? No, I thought she was with you. That cliche and stupid. But if that whole movie was written like that scene, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg, bad pick. And
yeah.
you're spot on with your comment here. He's playing Lex Luthor like Jim Carrey played the Riddler.
Yeah.
But
it's not as endearing as Carrey's Riddler was.
Bring back Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman could do it. Why didn't they get Heisenberg to do it? Mr. Breaking Bad. That would have been a terrifying Luthor.
Right?
Now, here's the thing. Is supposedly he's playing Alexander Luthor Jr., not the real Lex Luthor. So we'll have to see what comes of that. Maybe there's a hidden casting in there, and it does end up being Heisenberg. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be incredible. There
is one other thing in the vision part, again, the dream or whatever. You remember seeing those bat-like people or those insect-looking people?
Yeah, I see them in this picture I pulled up.
Yep. People are starting to think that those are parademons.
And what are parademons?
Parademons are basically the soldiers of a character called Darkseid. He is the alien god of evil for the DC universe, and he is immensely powerful.
That is awesome, actually.
Yeah, we gotta wait to see how that all ties in. That part gets me excited too. If they're, they might not take as much time with setting up Darkseid as they have been with Thanos in the DC and in the Marvel universe,
So I'm like I said earlier. How long is this movie? It seems like they're going to set up a couple of bad guys, and we're going to not see any resolution before the end of the movie. Or maybe the only resolution we'll see is between Batman and Superman. which could be
That's the
bad.
next question. And there's supposed to be all these other characters. We've yet to see Aquaman appear. We've yet to see.
He's way
Uh,
off in the shot. You can't see him in the background in the ocean.
oh, that's true. I mean, it could be. He could be. He could be in the background with Lex Luthor or something. People are zooming in on that kind of stuff. We've got to see why Superman was bowing to Luthor. We've got to see all this stuff. We got to see where that Senator trial goes to from the first one. We've got to see. We got to see where the Vision comes from. We got to see how Wonder Woman decides to intervene. There's so much stuff we've got to see about, and I don't know. Are we looking at another 2 hours, 2.5 hours? Zack Snyder directed Watchmen, which was 3 hours and some change, I think. Remember
Yes.
how long that?
I don't remember. I think I got a good nap in when I was watching it.
Well,
Or
that's
two.
it's one of the best stories ever, and he did the best he could with that movie. That movie needed to be a trilogy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for
Should
sure.
have been a 3 hour each movie could have been a trilogy, and then he could have gotten it as he needed. But he did the best he could. So I'm not gonna jab him on Watchmen.
Yeah, I
So
gotcha. Well, hey, listen, I enjoyed the movie. I just,
yeah,
the first time I watched it, maybe it was just because I was too tired or whatever. But
you've definitely got to have fresh legs and fresh eyes for that movie because it is a walk.
I don't know if I want fresh eyes for Dr. Manhattan, but all right.
So yeah, that's what I've got. Do you have anything to add for it?
No, that's all I got, man. I'm actually the hype is getting around to me now, and I think I may be all but sold on Ben Affleck. So I will eat my words on it. I need to see more.
Yeah, I'm loving his Bruce Wayne so far.
Oh yeah,
His Batman voice seems okay. It's just that some of the only dialogue we've really had with him as Batman
is the
has been the
robotic one.
cliched lines.
Yeah.
Except for the "Do you bleed?" But I thought that was a little melodramatic for him. But
Yeah, yeah.
trying to be intimidating to an alien god. But whatever. And before we move on from the comic section, I think did you add this in later the Namek thing?
No, I didn't actually put
Okay.
it in there. I'm
Well,
sorry.
there's a petition going on for NASA to change the name for a certain planet out there. I forget the name off the top of my head. I just want to throw this in real quick to Namek, based off the Dragon Ball Z planet where the Namekians like Piccolo and Kami and Dende came from.
Right.
And when you pull up the picture that Akira Toriyama drew of Namek from space, and you pull up that picture, they look almost identical.
Oh wow.
So it would be really cool if they would name it. Yeah, we'll do something for the anime nerds.
That would be interesting.
So, and who knows? We might find a Krypton out there too, and then we just have to find Dragon World.
And bide our time.
Yes.
By
Maybe
the
they hold
time
Dragon
the
Balls, so
Superman
then we can
movie.
wish.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god, Dragon Balls. All right. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the movies. All right, I got this first one.
All right.
First one is The Man in the High Castle. The first full season premiered on Amazon Prime the same day as Jessica Jones, which is kind of unfair. However, at the same time, we've got it all, so it doesn't matter. So we can sit there and watch in full consumption, which I've done probably about as much as I have Jessica Jones at this point. I think I'm on the 5th episode on that, and actually this morning while I was doing the notes up or the pictures up, I got through to like halfway through episode 5 of Jessica Jones, and I really don't like that purple man. But anyways, the Man in the High Castle, for those of you that don't know, is alternate history. What would have happened if the Axis powers won? And basically it equates to Nazi Germany taking over all the way through to what looks like the Rocky Mountains break up, and then there's a neutral zone, which I've got a map pulled up on the pictures now. There's a neutral zone in between that and the coastal states, which is under the control of the Empire of Japan. And there is a resistance looming. The Americans are finally trying to stand up and push back the Reich and the Empire of Japan. And while that's going on, there's also a treaty between some higher ranking officers in the German side and the Japanese side that are trying to push out their leaders from power and trying to take the United States as their own little piece of land and control it in a different way.
So, quick question: is this taking place in the 40s,
60s,
50s, 60s? Okay, yeah. That's what I was wondering. I've had some coworkers tell me about this show, and they are absolutely addicted to it.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's got not really a ton of huge billing actors, but that doesn't matter and shouldn't matter if the work's put to its merits. So
yeah, are they the bottom line for that is not if they're big names, but if they're good,
Yeah. Oh yeah. And they're very convincing, and it's really interesting. They show San Francisco, and it basically looks like San Francisco from Big Hero 6. Well, except no neon lights and stuff. But
I was about to say, is it as colorful as it was?
The mashup of the Japanese and American culture.
Oh,
because
okay.
they're not fully forcing Japanese culture on these people, but at the same time, there's still elements all over the place. So
now, are we finding out like what exactly changed in history? Like, did Pearl Harbor still happen, or were they instead did they do a full sneak attack invasion of the coast?
So you don't really get that, other than the fact that that eventually they do invade the United States, obviously.
Okay.
But there's these films wandering around, and I guess there's a couple of them that are still in play. But I believe the actual title of those movies are The Man in the High Castle, and they show the Americans winning. So they don't know if, and they haven't, as far as I've gotten, they haven't revealed whether or not that actually happened and there's a facade going on or something else is going on. We haven't gotten that far, but
I hear that there's like a lot of plot twists and surprises in the show.
Oh, there are.
Yeah, don't spoil anything for us, because I want to check this one out.
Even at the end of the pilot episode, there's a huge twist. So it starts early, and it's been a fun roller coaster ride so far. Hopefully, I'll get to that here soon to finish that up between that and Jessica Jones. So
I got to finish Jessica Jones. I'm on like episode 10. I've got to finish the last 3 episodes.
Right.
Maybe I can do that this week, hopefully.
All right, you want to go ahead and move on to the next one?
Yeah. So Kevin Bacon is to star in the Tremors TV reboot.
And I think he's supposed to either be part of the
writing team or producing team.
Executive producer. There we go.
Okay. That's just a fancy title, as Futurama told us. Yeah. No, Kevin Bacon starred in Tremors, just the first one initially, because he was actually embarrassed about the role. Did you know that he thought that was going to destroy his career, that stupid worm movie or whatever was going to ruin his career.
Wow.
And while the other actors more or less embraced it, I think, except for Reba McEntire, but who cares about her? She was terrible in the film. But according to Universal Entertainment Weekly, Universal Cable Productions and Blumhouse Productions are developing the revival to the 1990 cult film with Bacon on board as the star and executive producer. Bacon starred alongside Fred Ward, Finn Carter, Michael Gross, and Reba McEntire in the original film about an isolated area of Nevada named Perfection, played by giant killer worms. Tremors gave birth to 3 direct-to-video sequels and a prequel, as well as the short-lived Tremors, the series, which aired in 2003 on the Sci-Fi Channel.
So let's give it another try, because Kevin Bacon's becoming popular again, especially with the following as good as that show was. Even though it got canceled after, I think, 3, maybe 4 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a pretty good run, especially for a Sci-Fi Channel show, because they like to cancel their stuff. Well, they actually adored that.
Yeah, that Tremors series. I don't know how well that was, but
the Tremors series wasn't necessarily about the graboids. It was about all this other stuff that was happening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like they would have plant monsters and all this other, and kind of like had a Men in Black type of feel to it as well.
Great.
But it also had Michael Gross, and he plays Burt Gummer, right?
Yep.
he's basically Dale from King of the Hill, but heavily armed and very well trained,
Oh my
and
god.
he is great. The first cast, like I said, I didn't like Reba McEntire in it, but between Kevin Bacon,
Fred Ward.
Michael Gross, Fred Ward, those three were absolutely amazing. They
Yep.
were just the chemistry between them and stuff. And Fred Ward and Michael Gross came back for the sequel, which was great. I don't know. I don't know if I like the sequel better or I like the first one better.
Right.
I kind of like the first one because like it wasn't up till like the halfway point that you knew what was killing everybody.
Yeah.
So it had this great like suspense to it, which I don't think many horror movies are able to capture. Even I guess a relatively low budget one and goofy one like that was able to capture.
Yeah. The wife and I actually watched the newer one on Netflix the other day. The one where Bert goes to Africa with Jamie Kennedy in tow as his what the hell was it? Cinematographer, trying to make him famous. It was interesting, to say the least. But yeah, Bert was gung ho to the end, pissed off that he couldn't bring his guns in because of customs.
Oh yeah, that's his thing. Here's the really cool thing about him as Burt Gummer, Michael Gross, is that if you watch, especially in the first film, if you watch him, he practices actual gun safety
Yeah, yeah,
at all times. He never points at anything he doesn't want destroyed. Even when he hands a pistol off to this aggravating teenage kid to get him to do what he wants, to give him some false confidence.
right.
And when the kid finds out that it's empty, he hands it back to Bert. Bert still opens it up and checks it just to make sure before he puts it away. And that always caught me as something special. I don't know if he did that or they, wanted to emphasize the character would do that. But that was just pure genius on the movie's part.
Yeah, he was he was a great part of that series, and obviously the lifeblood all the way through the other two, because he's been in every single one.
Yeah.
So
And he was even in the TV series as well, if
Oh,
I
okay.
failed to point that out.
okay,
The last little note we got is Andrew Miller from the Secret Circle. I don't know what that is on board to write. Blumhouse and UCP are reportedly shopping the project to potential networks. Hopefully not NBC because they'll cancel it after 3 episodes.
or Fox, they'll play
Or
the
Fox,
episodes
they'll
out of
do the
order.
same thing. They'll show them out of order and then cancel it.
All right. The next thing we've got is Rambo. A Rambo series is in the works at Fox, and I totally agree. I think this would be better suited for HBO, Stars, or AMC. There's got to be someplace better that they could put this than Fox.
I mean, this movie feels like some executive that never watched the movies, but like what people like is Rambo. Let's make that into a TV show. And they've never seen exactly how bloody they are, how tragic the character is, especially in the first one when he is a veteran suffering from PTSD and the hatred of the community
Right.
and the frustration he has. First Blood is a great movie, one of the best movies ever.
Oh, for sure.
It was interesting. It's one of the first movies that did 3 full parts, like a theater play, I guess. Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. In a weird way. At least that's what I've heard from theatrical people. And Sylvester Stallone's going to be back for this, apparently. I don't know if he's...
Just to hand it, it's gonna be like what was it, Limitless, where Bradley Cooper comes in the first episode to hand off the reins to
Oh,
the new member, and then that's it. So
okay. All right. Well, I don't know if I like those passing of the torch type things for TV shows. But according to Entertainment Weekly, Rambo: New Blood, ironically enough, pays homage to the original action films while exploring the complex relationship between Stallone's former Green Beret John Rambo and his son JR, an ex-Navy SEAL. Stallone and Avi Lerner will executive produce the project, with Jeb Stewart, Die Hard, serving as showrunner. Stallone co-wrote and starred in the 1982 action film First Blood, based on David Morrell's 1972 novel of the same name about a misunderstood Vietnam War veteran who must use his skills to survive an abusive small-town sheriff. The film spawned three sequels: 1985's Rambo First Blood Part 2, 1988's Rambo 3, and 2008's Rambo.
A storied history with Rambo.
Yeah, so it really feels like, I don't know how well the 2008 one did. Did you?
I haven't seen it. I heard it was actually decent.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what that means, but
Yeah, the thing with this series is that they eventually turn him into a cliched action star, like, you know, like every other 80s action hero, I guess. But I always felt that it didn't need to be that way. It needed to focus more on his emotional issues and everything.
it got a 37% on Rambo or on Rotten Tomatoes. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and in the original book, the guy that trained Rambo ended up having to kill him. He killed him at the end after he had destroyed the entire town, of course. Right. But in the movie, they were like, "Yeah, this is going to definitely get sequels." So instead, he just captures him.
Right.
So I don't know. I think they're 30 years too late for this.
Yeah.
I don't know if Rambo's really got the cultural significance anymore.
Yeah.
And then having his son,
I don't think
be an ex-Navy SEAL.
Yeah, I don't think it'll hit this generation very well.
Yeah.
So, all right, this has got to be my favorite picture for the whole show coming up.
Yes, you are so welcome that I found this.
Yeah, it's exactly what I wanted.
My minutes of searching paid off.
Tom Cruise is going to do the Mummy reboot.
Yes. I don't know. They want to start a horror universe franchise. Who is this? Universal. They're trying to reboot all their horror movies, but I still have to wonder how much running can we expect in this movie, and what are we going to what kind of mummy are we going to have? Are we going to have a really powerful one like in the Brendan Fraser films, or is it going to be more like the old black and white ones?
Yeah,
where he was just pretty much indestructible or whatever. The Mummy, it's intended, and the reason they're pulling Tom Cruise for it is they're trying to get enough star power behind it, as opposed to good writing and plot and acting. Not just saying Tom Cruise is a bad actor. I'm just saying that
Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz weren't terrible.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's instead of focusing on star power, whenever somebody says they're trying to get star power behind the movie, that means, we just want it to be all style and no substance. Give me a good plot, give me good sequences or shots,
Oh, I get it. You mean the script sucks.
Potentially, yes.
Oh,
that might not be the case, but I don't know. I just hate to say, well, yeah, we're good. No, people, listen, with the internet, people will go see it if it's good. Yeah. People will go see it if it's really bad too, but star power does not always help. Look at some of the movies we've had bomb lately that had star power behind them.
Is Fantastic Four one of those?
Kind of, I guess. The Steve Jobs movie was.
Yeah, there you go. Michael Fassbender. You just can't just put a popular actor in a place and say, "Hey, look, it's a successful film."
Yeah, I like to think it doesn't work like that anymore.
Right.
But like I said, The Mummy is intended to mark the official launch of Universal Pictures' new shared monster universe. John Spates penned the script, which shifts the film into modern day. However, no other details about the plot have been released. I really don't care about The Mummy. You know what I would like to see back? Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, there you go. They haven't done one of those in a while.
No, they haven't. I mean, we see... How many Dracula films have we seen? They just did Dracula Untold, or whatever.
There's only one Dracula film, and it's Dracula.
I like Bram Stoker's from the 90s, even though we had Keanu Reeves' weird acting for it.
Hey, he did just fine as Jonathan Harker. They could have picked worse actors at that time. Would you rather have seen Tom Cruise there?
No, I'll be honest with you. No, I don't. Listen, fortunately he was minimal to the role. They had enough of you know. Okay. To be
Gary
fair,
Oldman was the backbone of that movie. So
there was too many other good people there that just outpaced him. Like you said, who else was in that movie?
Winona Ryder. Uh,
No. Who played Van Helsing?
oh, freaking Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins, right there. Yes, Odin himself. Uh, I mean, how can you beat that?
Yeah,
How can you start opposite of Anthony Hopkins and not expect to lose that fight? You're
yeah.
not going to win that unless you're uh, like Patrick Stewart or Ian. I can't remember names right now. Ian McKellen. People like that are the only ones that are going to be able to keep up with him when he's bringing his A game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not really a good shadow to stand behind, but
What didn't you say? Gary Oldman was in that film as well.
yeah, he played Dracula.
He played Dracula.
Yeah,
There's another one. How are you going to compete with Gary Oldman? Who's going to compete with
even
him?
even that
Who's,
early in his career,
yeah. So
before he
and
was Commissioner
the
Gordon.
yeah. So that's me being unfair to Keanu Reeves. I apologize, Mr. Reeves. I still enjoy The Matrix, Bill and Ted, obviously. So
John Wick.
I haven't seen John Wick yet.
Oh, you
You're
gotta
not
watch it.
you're not going to beat Bill and Ted.
You gotta
Okay.
watch John Wick. Seriously,
I'm sorry. None of his movies are going to be as good as Bill and Ted were.
John Wick. There's a whole mythos behind that line of character. So, while Bill and Ted is a venerable classic, especially for the '80s kids, John Wick is an incredible movie. It's not like it's Point Break or anything.
Oh, that's right. He was in Point Break too.
It was. It's kind of easy to forget that one. So
Yeah, I mean, and they just did a remake with Thor in there, and I've already forgotten about that too.
it's not out yet.
It's not out
It
yet.
comes
I thought
out. It comes out this month.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I've already forgotten about it again.
So.
Whatever.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the video games. I pushed the button 3 times. I don't know what happened. All right, the releases for this week were kind of awesome. Rainbow Six Siege, which came out on PCs and the current gen consoles now. We'll stop calling them next gen because they're not.
Yep.
The Xenoblade Chronicles X or 10 for Wii U. Is it X or is it 10?
I think it's X.
Okay.
It's probably 10, but but then we also run into the Mega Man X syndrome. So let's
Right.
just say X,
Okay.
just to be safe.
And then and that was on the Wii U, and Just Cause 3, which came out on all the current gen systems and the PC as well. And I own 2 out of the 3 of them, and have some videos up on my YouTube page of both of those. Rainbow Six Siege is the first one. Follows along with the classic of what my favorite tactical shooters when I was younger was the Rainbow Six series. This one focuses more on straight multiplayer and team tactics and stuff like that. Things to include breaching charges. All of the environment is destructible, as is shown in this other picture I've got coming up here. You can shoot through the walls unless they're hardened by the team that's defending and stuff like that. There's ranked play after you reach level 20, which is kind of interesting because it's kind of like the they want to break into the what do you call it?
The tournament?
Yeah, the tournament style stuff. The streaming possibilities and stuff like that. Which actually I can see. It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to stream too because. Just having everybody else on voice chats and seeing a game completely break down because nobody wants to take the blame for something they did or play nice. And then there's also the terrorist hunt, which you can do single player or with a squad of up to 5 players. Whether
So does it have a story mode to it then?
No, it does not. And this was going to be my other comment. I got it as part of one of the package deals for one of the parts that I ordered for my new computer, and I feel like, and a couple of my buddies' opinions are that this game is not worth $60, and they are right. This feels like its home should be where Overwatch is going to be at $40.
Well, that's really what I feel like these online multiplayer games should be like. Evolve,
Yeah.
because they don't have lasting capability. Especially, I mean, when the servers go down, they're down. That no more game.
Now,
Really.
to caveat that, which is an awesome word, caveat,
Mhm.
the DLCs are completely free. All the content they're going to add, all the new operators, because it basically you have a basic recruit that you start with where it's just basic stuff, and then there are more specialized operators over the next, I think, 6 months to a year, depending on how long their DLC cycle is. I think they're adding 8 operators and like 4 to 8 new maps, I could guess. They're not charging for those, which is a good thing. The season pass only gives you access to that stuff 7 days early and a couple of extra things like weapon skins and stuff like that. So that stuff's in there. Minor stuff. I mean, realistically, in a real world scenario, your gun's not going to look all gold plated out or chromed out or some weird paint job. So
Hey,
that really doesn't matter to me.
like Ocelot said, it doesn't give a tactical advantage,
Yeah, exactly.
which he was told in 3.
Which it doesn't really matter anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
the rounds are over fast enough. You're not looking at other people's guns. You're just trying not to die and trying to do your job. So a lot of fun. Really enjoying it. And actually, I'll probably end up playing some tonight with a couple of my buddies. So the next one is the Xenoblade Chronicles.
I have no notes for that. I'm thinking about getting it. I'm playing catch up on too many games right now. So I did hear that it got censored for the Western release, which we'll go into some censorship talk later, but I do not agree with censorship. So that's my biggest complaint.
I heard the only thing I heard about this game, and I haven't really watched any of the trailers either, though I am kind of interested to see, because I think I played a Xenoblade game before. I don't remember. But apparently it takes 30 hours worth of gameplay before you actually get into the suits, which is kind of interesting. I'm sure that means a lot of cutscenes and some character building, but...
Yeah, if this is the series I'm thinking of, I played a Xenoblades game years ago. There's a character called Cosmos in it or something, some kind of robot girl, and the cutscenes for it were like 30 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
It was something insane. It just took forever, and like you could just walk away and go make a sandwich or take a nap or something, come back, and it's still playing.
Yeah.
So that would be like my one turn off, and I know it's still, if it wants to tell me that kind of story, just make it into a movie and I'll watch it.
Right.
Let me play some of the game. Give me like in game dialogue, with them discussing stuff or whatever.
Hey, those cutscenes in Metal Gear Solid 5 are pretty incredible, though, huh?
They're great, and for the most part, they're fairly short. So
yeah, it's very atypical of what we've gotten in the past from them.
Yes, I'm watching a Sons of Liberty playthrough right now because I've only played, before this game, I played Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
Which is good because that's basically right before this. So
Yes, exactly. So unfortunately, I got really lucky that I knew some of the characters. I understood some of the references they were making beforehand. And but I'm watching the one where they first debuted Raiden, and there was this cutscene or whatever, or this dialogue that just went on forever, and I was stopping the video and watching other videos because I was so bored of it.
Yeah.
But I want to know, because I heard that one's like the weirdest of all of them.
It really is. I'll talk to you offline about that too. But otherwise, we'll run longer.
Yeah.
The other final game. So that one will probably be lots of cutscenes and stuff like that, but very well done nonetheless. So
yeah, it looks pretty though. You know.
And the last one is Just Cause 3. It's everything that was great about Just Cause 2, but in Rico's hometown, or home country, or whatever, which is really awesome. It's about, I think they said about 1,000 square kilometers, something like that. Which, the Just Cause games have been known for very large maps, very robust maps, lots of things to do, lots of things to blow up. It's a very over-the-top, ridiculous action game. In no way are we using grappling hook technology or strapping ourselves to acetylene or explosive tanks, shooting them and then rocketing into the air.
Yet.
Or
the science will get there.
Or using a parachute and then it magically being sucked back into our chute pack, all packed up and ready for the next time we're going to use it 3 seconds later.
Yeah, or you let one go, fall some more, shoot another one out, let it go.
What's neat is they added a wingsuit, which is a lot of fun, but hard to get used to. I've watched a guy spend like 5 minutes and 45 seconds of flying. I think it was 13 kilometers. It was really neat, but man, that's a long way to go. And the only reason he was flying for that long was because he jumped off of the highest point on the map.
Now, I saw a video, but I'm pretty sure this was from Just Cause 3, where they were on a mountain on a motorcycle, and they jumped down it, and then they hit like another mountain, and they jumped off of it, and they were sailing through the air for so long that they managed to land into a plane. Have you seen that video?
That was Grand Theft Auto 5. I've seen that.
Was that in the... Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I thought that was... somebody linked in and said something about Just Cause, isn't it?
They were using mods too.
Come on, that's not fun.
Yeah, because when you tilt that bike back on its back wheel in the air, it like gains altitude and flies and stuff. It's really dumb. Oh. And speaking of Grand Theft Auto 5, the cars are a lot heavier in the Just Cause series than the Grand Theft Auto 5 cars, even the sports car ones.
Does that make it feel more controllable?
No, more clunky.
So clunkier?
I mean, to be fair, I don't spend a lot of time in vehicles anyways because I'm usually just grappling hook and parachuting because it's quicker. So, but it's got that great sandbox feel that all the Just Cause games have always had, and even more so in the second one and now this third one. Lots of destructible environments, as you can see in the picture I've got up here too. A lot of the stuff that you can destroy is marked in red. That way you know what can be destroyed. Or what needs to be destroyed for certain mission objectives or free roam objectives. So it's a lot of fun though. I'm really enjoying it, and like I said, I did about 2 hours last night. So
yeah, this is definitely a game that's on my to-do list one day to grab. There's so many games right now. I've got somebody donate me $1 million so I could just retire for a year and catch up.
Right.
Maybe clone myself or something.
So those are all the games that came out this week. At least the high-profile releases. So the next thing we've got on here is, I think, your censorship article.
Yep. Dead or Alive Extreme 3 will not be coming to the U.S. or Western countries, I believe. The news comes from the Dead or Alive Facebook page, where the fan asked whether Extreme 3 will be coming to the U.S. and EU regions. Here's a quote. We do not bring DOA X3 to the West and won't have any plan change in the future. Thank you for asking, a representative said. That's a direct quote, so it was translated or whatever, so it sounds weird. Do you know how many issues happening in video game industry with regard... I should have edited this, not to make them sound as bad, but I'm going to do a direct quote. So, do you know how many issues happening in video games industry with regard to how to treat female in video game industry? We do not want to talk those things here, but certainly we have gone through in last year or two to come to our decision. Thank you. I'm not the biggest fan of this series. I bought it first started when I was in high school, so of course I bought it as a teenager. It's an okay game. It's like an overrated dress-up game with some volleyball and some goofy mini games. What's the big deal? If you don't want to play it, don't play it. If you don't want to watch somebody stream it, don't watch them stream it.
Yeah.
This censorship stuff and this political correctness with video games and stuff is getting out of hand. There's so many diverse games out there, that you can play as any character you want. Look at the the Saints Row games or the Sunset Overdrive, where you could dress your character up almost any way you want.
Yeah.
Uh, and the people that are complaining and demanding these censorship issues are people that don't even play the games.
Yeah.
They see a girl in a bikini on the cover and it's like, oh, well, this is sexist and offensive. Well, guess what? There was guys in the game too.
Yeah.
There's actually going to have two or three. I think in this last one they had one guy, and in this one they had one or two more guys. So, and they're frustrated. It's not like you can go buy the most scantily clad bikini and give it to the girl and make her dress up in it. You got to get her to like you. Then you have to purchase it, and it's like $10,000. So you have to play either a bunch of poorly mini games that are poor controls, or you have to play volleyball, which they don't really teach you, at least in the first one, from my experience. It's almost not worth the hassle. So, and guess what? It's not real people. It's not like they hired girls to go stand there, which, if I could get paid to look good, I would get paid to look good.
Right?
Yeah, I can't even give money to people to tell me that I look good half the time.
And your wife does it out of pity.
Yeah, my wife does it because that means she gets food sometimes. I mean, yeah, she still has to cook it, but I give her the food. I give her the ingredients,
Oh, God.
And the thing is, I didn't even know this game was coming out until I started hearing the people complaining about it. But the good thing is that you can get a version from PlayAsia.com, who of course is now people are complaining that they're sexist and all this crap, that has English subtitles. And more Japanese game companies are starting to do this, not sending the games over here because it's not worth the hassle of getting complained at when they don't have the problem over there that people play the games. They don't have the complaints that they give here. I don't understand it. People just want a fun game.
Right.
So hopefully that more will just, and that start, and I think there was even one of the voice actresses for the Dead or Alive series came out and sarcastically said, "Thank you. Now I do not get paid for being able to dub this.
Yeah.
That's money out of my pocket, out of my children's mouths, because I can't say good job 15 times,
Yeah.
or whatever." So they don't realize that they're hurting real people by trying to protect the pretend ones and other people's feelings that don't play the games.
Right. All right. Well, so did you read that last part, or you can get
Which last part?
the English subtitled version?
Yeah, I threw that out there. I'll say it again. Play Asia, which I'm actually going to buy a copy now. I probably won't even open it, but I'm going to buy a copy just to spite them. Play Asia will have are selling copies with English subtitles.
Gotcha.
For you.
All right. The next next article's cool. I like this. I'm excited about this.
Oh, yes, I am too.
The Platinum Games is developing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. According to Games Radar, the Australian rating board recently posted rating information for a game titled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan. The game is rated M for mature, not recommended for children under 15. Though it's worth noting that this is different than the MA15 plus rating for mature audiences. The difference between these two is similar to the difference between PG-13 and R rating for movies in the United States.
That's something we do need to clarify, that Australia is
wonky on its ratings.
They're from what I've heard from listening to Ben Croshaw, Yahtzee, Zero Punctuation, they are still, which I guess we still are too in a way. They are really heavily censoring not only video games, but I think they're starting to censor the internet they have access to over there because of for the children. So that's why their ratings are so strict, and things get heavily censored, like lack of blood in mature games, or the South Park game getting heavily censored over there, where they lost a lot of cutscenes and they just had a description popped up there. Again, another censorship thing, but I'm going to try to move past that. I love Ninja Turtle games. I love the NES game, which was hard, yes. I love the arcade game. Oh my goodness, how many quarters? How many dollars did I spend on that game? Yep. Tons. I'd probably be rich now if I didn't. The fighting games. Remember the tournament fighter games?
Yeah.
I love those. I'm really hoping that with the mutants in Manhattan, they're bringing some of those characters back.
Yeah, that'd be
The
neat.
Triceratops. I can't. The Triceratons or something. The shark looking guy. Uh, even April O'Neil was a fighter in that game.
Hey, who were the
Oddly
guys?
enough.
Who were the guys that drove around in the red convertible? Was that the neutrinos or something like
Yeah,
that?
the neutrinos
They'd be.
from Dimension X.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
That now, hey, we might get some of them in there. I don't know what all sources they're going to pull from for this game, but and the thing is, unfortunately, the last few Ninja Turtle games we've gotten have not been good. That people had to mod it to make it playable.
Right.
Where somebody said it's bad when the high point of your game is the menu music,
Right.
because they pulled the song from the old Ninja Turtles movie, the original,
Yeah.
for it. But oh my goodness, I'm pumped for a new good Ninja Turtles game. I'm I don't know. I just hopefully they make sure to make Raph more. It's always tricky with him because he's got such a short range attacks
Right.
that he's usually just used as a throwaway character for most people. Like in the first game, if you got to pick him when you're about to die.
Right.
You got to make sure you keep Donatello for the boss battles because he's beast.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've spent tons of money on the arcade game too, and I owned all three of the titles on the. Was it 3 or 4 technically with that first one? On the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original NES.
Yeah, there was
There was the
Ninja
RPG
Turtle
one. Right.
Then there was another one that was kind of like the arcade game.
Right.
That was on the NES. Then I think that's when they only had 2 for the NES, and then they transitioned to the Super Nintendo, and
No,
then they
they
did
had
another arcade port.
They had a third one that
Turtles in Time. That's it.
that
Is that the
was
one you're
that
talking
Super
about?
NES one. I thought the third one on the NES was a something about Manhattan.
Oh, the Manhattan Project or something maybe. I thought they only had. I didn't have them all, unfortunately. I had just the first one.
Yeah, I'll have to look really quick, see if I can find it. There's a Ninja Turtles arcade game. Oh my gosh, come on.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm hoping that I hope they put in a 2D uh, underwater level, just like the NES one.
Right.
And I want to see all the kids these days complain about it,
Yeah,
trying to.
it was the Manhattan Project. Darn it. Whatever.
But to be fair, I didn't. I only thought there was 2 for the NES. So
Yeah. Well, there was 2 of those side scroller fighting ones.
yeah,
The first one was god awful hard, and I shouldn't have been playing that at like 8 years old or whatever I was.
yeah. It's what they expected of us as children.
Yeah, it was terrible. Kids don't even know these days.
They don't know.
They don't know the struggle.
No checkpoints, no saves,
Right.
no.
You swim through those electric. What was it?
It's like seaweed or whatever, electric
Yeah.
seaweed.
You-
And then
you-
if you got too low, that the plants would come up and grab
Yep.
you.
Yeah. Pain in the
And you had the electric walls. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness! And you were timed.
Yeah.
And it was a maze. And you had a timer didn't stop when you were disconnecting the
Yeah.
bombs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And there was no health during the maze. I think there was one. I think there was one health thing, pizza thing.
Yeah. And that was it.
Oh, and if you wanted to, you couldn't regain lives in that game. You had to, after the dam, you had the option to rescue 1 or 2 of the turtles potentially. I think.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and you had to fight to get to them usually.
All right. Speaking of fighting, Telltale's is going to make a Batman game, which I think sounds really, really interesting. They announced that it's going to be an interactive episodic Batman video game on the way, set to premiere in 2016. As of yet, untitled game will debut digitally on home consoles, PC, Mac, and mobile devices.
All right. Well, here's a quote. This iteration of Batman will give fans a first-hand opportunity to dive deeper into the complex life and mind of Bruce Wayne, the duality of his own identity, and the struggle of responsibility in saving a city overcome with corruption and villainy. So does that mean we get to talk up supermodels as well when he's doing the fake thing?
Right?
Now, here's an interesting thing. He's always in the comics and some of the movies, he's always shown as kind of a drunk a little bit because he's a
Yeah.
playboy.
Yeah.
Which of course this is non-canon, according to Frank Miller's Dark Knight series, he always had ginger ale in his drinks. He never
Oh,
even took alcohol.
it was a show.
Yeah. So not only was he acting, he was even he wouldn't even drink really. Another character I know doesn't drink is Spider-Man because it messes with his equilibrium so bad. So
Yeah,
if he had to
he's
be
flipping upside
Spider-Man,
down all the time, and yeah,
yeah,
you don't want to do that.
yeah. So he can't he can't take that, even though with his metabolism it should burn out quickly. I guess he just doesn't want to risk it. But
In talking about those two, it's weird because they have two of those guys in the DC universe between him and Oliver Queen.
but I think Oliver Queen embraced Batman. Never was the party boy though.
Yeah,
Oliver Queen was, and then he got humbled big time.
yeah.
So, and I think even now he's much more realistic and looser than Batman is.
Spoilers: plane crash will do that to you.
Plane crash. It was a shipwreck.
Was it a shipwreck? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry.
it's been a while since I watched the original or the first few episodes. I've actually started making headway in season 1. So
Yeah.
I actually watched what was it, Deadshot, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Shouldn't have happened that way. Deadshot looked cool, but I feel like that he shouldn't have taken care of him so easily.
Or did he?
Or did he? Oh, great.
Or did he?
Spoilers. Spoilers.
Hey, first of all, it's a comic book show.
Yeah,
so,
I know. So we got a Telltale Batman game on the way, which I've been pretty happy with their games so far. The Walking Dead was awesome, and
I want to try out the Game of Thrones ones.
I heard The Wolf Among Us was really good, and I played actually a few minutes of the first chapter of that because it's free now. I actually played it on the tablet.
Wait, it's free on.
It's free on the Google Play Store and stuff. I got
Okay.
I got it on my tablet, and it plays surprisingly well on a tablet.
I'll have to see if I can get it for my cell phone then maybe.
And then the Minecraft story mode as
Oh,
well.
which I want to play.
Yeah, my son's right there with you, man. And
It's coming out on disc too, so I think it's coming out. So a physical copy, so I might have to grab that.
yeah, there you go. All right, let's take on the last thing here. Kind of going to turn into a rant thing because I'm about to bring up a picture that's very inflammatory. Oh, look, it's Hideo Kojima. A Hideo Kojima game.
He's like an abused puppy at this point to everybody.
So I'm on his side, all right. But every time I talk about that Metal Gear Solid 5 at work, we're always talking about, oh hey, did you know that was a Hideo Kojima game? And and now that you've been playing it, you understand it's in every cutscene.
You gotta understand that they were trying to take him out of the game.
Oh, I know.
Completely. So I don't know if he went and did that on purpose or if his developers did it behind his back. But when they broke the main mission up as episodic as it is,
That's still neat, though. I like that part.
I think that's a brilliant idea. By the way, I wanted to mention that is I love that it breaks it up kind of.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. I don't know. I just think it's a good idea. But yes, it is a Hideo Kojima game, definitely.
It makes every mission self-contained for the most part, except for carryovers of main character stuff.
Well, it's episodic play, but with an overbranching story arc, in a way. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump on this.
Go ahead.
All right, so Konami has banned Kojima from the PlayStation Awards, which occurred Thursday, which we'll get into some of that next week. A lot of announcements happened this weekend, which hopefully you've been keeping up with it. The Metal Gear Solid creator, Hideo Kojima, was instructed he was not permitted to attend the Game Awards 2015 ceremony to accept any awards for Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Host Geoff Naley has revealed. I think that's Naley. As you notice, Hideo Kojima is not here with us tonight, and I want to tell you a little bit about that, explained Geoff. Mr. Kojima had every intention of being with us tonight, but unfortunately he was informed by a lawyer representing Konami just recently that he would not be allowed to travel to the night's award ceremony to accept any awards.
Oh,
Metal Gear's Metal Gear Solid 5 was nominated for Game of the Year, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Soundtrack, Best Action Adventure, and Best Action Adventure. The game won the award for Best Score and Soundtrack and Best Action Adventure. Kojima Productions was also nominated as Developer of the Year. The Phantom Pain also won a Platinum Prize at the PlayStation Awards 2015 ceremony in Tokyo earlier on Thursday. The Platinum Prize awarded for games that have sold more than 1 million copies. The game also won a User's Choice Prize and a User Choice Prize Asia. Kojima did not attend the ceremony, and a Konami public relations supervisor accepted the trophy instead. And I read somewhere, but I couldn't validate it really. I couldn't find a good source, but I think that Kiefer Sutherland that plays Snake in the game accepted some awards on Kojima's behalf or Kojima Productions' behalf as well.
oh, that's cool. He did. I like his voice for Snake. That's pretty awesome.
I don't know. I mean, well, he's a good actor and he's a good voice actor. So, but really, he doesn't talk that much as opposed to what I've seen in the other games.
He talked like the whole first mission.
The whole first mission he did, but afterwards, he's been really quiet. Probably because he's got brain damage.
Yeah, it also hit his speech center. No.
Yeah. But what is Konami doing? It's like they got the guy on lockdown. He still has that contract with him until the end of December of this year, I think. So, the how is there a PR person even working? Has that public relations person that said, "Hey, this looks really bad on us"? Pretty much the entire world hates us right now. They're hating us more than EA and Ubisoft.
Yeah, no.
Freaking EA.
Yeah, EA. They'll sell you the game after they've already sold it to you twice.
Yeah, you get to buy the game, but then you get to actually buy the gameplay or whatever.
Right.
But
hey, you're gonna have to pay extra for them cutscenes.
Oh, hey, you want to get to level 2? Well, yeah, that's going to be $5 extra. But no, to quote Jim Sterling, Konami is Konami, and Konami is the worst.
Yeah.
That there's no way that they should be acting like this, especially with the Phantom Pain selling 1 million copies or over 1 million copies and getting nominated for all these awards, and it being one of the only series that they're carrying right now. Especially after canceling Silent Hills.
Yeah.
One of the most anticipated games of the year or next year.
Yeah, so I was just talking about with Argo in the chat room here. He was talking back and forth about how awesome it would have been if Miyazaki and Kojima had teamed up to make a game too. I said it'd be amazing, but almost like the Silent Hills would have been with Del Toro.
Now, hopefully, once he breaks away from Konami, he can take Kojima Productions and go somewhere else, because he won't have the Metal Gear IP and he won't have Silent Hills, but he's still Kojima. He's still got the ideas. He could make it under another name, really.
Yeah, for sure.
And keep the spirit of it. And Is Metal Gear Solid a flawless series? Absolutely not. It's insane. It runs on absolute insanity, but it's got this endearing quality about it, and it's got great gameplay.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I love about it, is that it is like I don't know, it's like the Japanese version of American Black Ops in a weird way to me. It's, or Special Forces, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And you mix that with giant mechas. You got a villain that's got a skull face, and then he wears a bandito mask over it and a cowboy hat. I mean, the whole series is insane, and I love it. I wish I'd gotten into it when I was younger.
Yeah. All right. Well, unfortunately for him, even though his product won awards for Konami, the poor guy, he deserves his credit.
Yeah, he does deserve a square. And I'm not going to buy anything Konami anymore. I'm done with them. I don't care what they release.
It's a Hideo Kojima game.
Yes, it's not a Konami game.
All right. Well, that's all we got for this week. Thanks for listening, and please leave us feedback on our episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, and anywhere else you can get our podcast from. Also, please like, share, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, where we're currently talking to you.
You can contact us at ECG_podcast on Twitter, at our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/ECGpodcast, or our email address at ecgpodcast@gmail.com. Also visit us at our webpage, www.stasisgeek.com. That's STASISGEEK.com. Or like Jeremy said, post a comment and we will probably read it a few times.
All right, that's all we got. We'll be back next week. Until then, stay geeky.